But I'd watch Golden State. He played with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr on the Olympics. You know he's close with Draymond Green.
You know, just two guys just loving to play. We love to play the game of basketball and try to share to each other.
Who else you want to play with?
In today's game, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure, in today's game.
LeBron James has been saying for years he wants to play with Steph Curry. And when it finally happened at the Olympics, they won gold. They did it at the national level, but what if I told you that they are about to do the same thing in the NBA? The relationship between the two has never been stronger, and perhaps most importantly, Golden State is now faced with a problem they can't solve on their own. And now Steph Curry might be preparing for one final recruiting pitch that could change NBA history. The Golden State Warriors had a bad 2025-26 NBA season, despite Steph Curry doing his best. He averaged 27 points per game, earned his 12th All-Star selection, and continued to play at an amazing level. But while his numbers were still elite, the standings told a different story. The Warriors missed the playoffs entirely, and one major problem was health. Curry missed 27 consecutive games with a knee injury, and during that stretch, Golden State looked less like a contender and more like a team desperately searching for an identity. Without Curry, Golden State went 13-26, a record that revealed just how dependent the organization had become on one player. But Curry's injury wasn't the only disaster. Jimmy Butler was supposed to help extend the championship window until he tore his ACL in January, effectively ending his season and altering the Warriors' future. Then suddenly, the Dubs found themselves in a strange situation. They committed almost $150 million to Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green next season alone. Steph and Jimmy were the Warriors' offense, and with injuries keeping them out, Golden State's offense crumbled. Here's Dubs insider Monte Poole on a discussion he had with Coach Steve Kerr.
I talked to Steve Kerr about this after they came into that road trip, and I said, what was behind the decision to shoot 40 and 50 threes against teams that have no rim protector? And he basically said that, we try to mix up the offense. And we look at our roster, we don't really have a bunch of guys who can, dribble penetrate successfully.
He recommends LeBron, by the way.
And, he's right. He's right about that. So that's something they have to fix. So I think adding a guy like LeBron gives you the opportunity to vary your offense a little bit. We know LeBron's going to attack the rim. That's just who he is.
And besides that, we all saw how LeBron was feeding Curry the ball at the Olympics after finding out what he could really do.
LeBron. Curry gets it up from the wing. Not a good recipe to stop the USA
place team in the quarterfinals. Steph Curry. Curry for three.
Nonetheless, people need to understand that the LeBron rumors don't exist because the Warriors are trying to build another super team, but because they may have run out of alternatives. And now, they need Curry to do something he's done before. 10 years ago, Kevin Durant looked completely untouchable. He was one of the best players on the planet and the face of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The idea that he would voluntarily leave all of that behind felt ridiculous. Most people never seriously considered it, until it happened. And it happened when Steve Kerr went to see him in the Hamptons and convinced him that winning together could be bigger than anything either of them accomplished alone. The Warriors know that if LeBron is even remotely interested in exploring another chapter of his career, a conversation with Curry would be more effective. After all, there may not be two active players in the NBA who understand each other better. For over a decade, they defined each other's careers. They met in 4 consecutive finals. They competed for championships, MVPs, and the title of best player in the world. Yet somewhere along the way, the rivalry evolved into not just respect, but a desire to play together.
You know, just two guys just loving to play. We love to play the game of basketball and try to share to each other.
That desire found fulfillment at the Olympics, but it seems that's not where it ends, because it has been confirmed. Steph Curry is going to get in a room with LeBron to talk about playing together in Golden State soon. Curry has made it clear that he doesn't want to go out like Kobe, ending his career without contending for the title. You can think of this like the NBA version of the Olympic Avengers coming together to win gold for Team USA. This is Curry and LeBron coming together to try to end their career on a high. And if the Warriors are going to ask LeBron to consider one final run, there is nobody in the organization better equipped to make that argument than the player who already pulled off the impossible once before. But there's still a problem with the maths, because as exciting as Steph Curry recruiting LeBron sounds, the Warriors aren't operating from a position of strength. They're operating from a position of desperation. As I said earlier, Golden State already has roughly $150 million tied up in just 3 players. Steph is currently owed $62 million next season. Jimmy Butler is owed nearly $57 million. Draymond Green is sitting at almost $28 million. That's before you even start filling out the rest of the roster. The biggest problem is Butler. When the Warriors traded for him, the idea was simple. Pair Curry with another star and squeeze one more championship run out of this era. Instead, Butler tore his ACL in January and now enters next season as a 37-year-old player carrying one of the most difficult contracts in basketball to move. If Golden State wants any realistic path to creating meaningful cap flexibility for LeBron, Butler's contract is one major obstacle standing in front of everything. There are reports suggesting that the Warriors could realistically offer something in the neighborhood of the non-taxpayer mid-level exception around $15 million. Now, if you compare that to the $52.6 million LeBron makes with the Lakers, that seems like a lot of financial sacrifice. But we've seen many players make such sacrifices to be able to win ships. In fact, the newly crowned NBA champion and King of New York, Jalen Brunson, had to sacrifice $100 million to win the title. But there are other problems, such as location. Most of LeBron's life and family reside in LA. However, the Warriors already seem to have an answer for this. Reports suggest that part of Curry's pitch includes the idea that Golden State would cover LeBron's commute from Los Angeles to the Bay without having to move his family. This is what the Warriors are willing to do to become championship contenders. But it might be more than that. You see, the 2024 Olympics was the first time LeBron and Curry got together. It deepened their friendship and respect for each other. But more importantly, it showed them how and why, even at that age, they can win. At this point, the idea almost starts sounding believable. After all, Steph wants it, LeBron wants it, and the Olympic chemistry was real. And, according to multiple insiders, the interest is real too.
The LeBron to the Warriors isn't crazy.
Yeah, no.
Okay, it's a 45-minute private jet home. Curry, Draymond, Kerr. I mean, he likes those guys.
Absolutely.
He has flirted. I mean, he's been talking about Curry for 6 years.
The reason this story refused to disappear is because on some level, it actually makes sense. But then you run into the problem nobody can solve. Despite all the Warriors rumors, Los Angeles is still the favorite. However, the Lakers didn't trade for Luka to build around LeBron's final years. They traded for Luka because they believed he's the future of the franchise. Everything happening in Los Angeles right now is being viewed through that lens. Now, reports have even suggested that Austin Reeves has become one of the organization's major priorities moving forward because of how well he fits next to Luka long term. And when you look at it from that perspective, you can understand why some people believe this entire Warriors story might be leverage. Maybe LeBron wants to stay in Los Angeles, and this entire Warriors situation is just leverage to remind the Lakers that other options exist. That's why some analysts remain cautious.
If it doesn't work out with the Lakers, I'd watch the Warriors.
But for others, they are willing to bet that LeBron joins the Warriors this time.
LeBron.
Oh, sure.
What happens with that is a good one, right?
It always is. It always is.
This one's a really fun one because the Warriors is really in play now, like for real. I really feel like if I had to bet my life on a team, I think I would bet on it.
People once said the Hamptons meeting was just another off-season rumor. Then, Steph Curry walked into a room and NBA history changed. So, if you're Golden State, you make the call. You take the meeting and you let Steph make his pitch. Because the worst thing LeBron can say is no. But if he says yes, at the end of the day, LeBron James will probably never be a Warrior. But beneath all of the reasons why, the salary cap complications and free agency rumors, is one undeniable fact. Steph Curry is about to get a chance to make his pitch. And history says that's a dangerous thing to underestimate, especially after what we saw during the Olympics. The last time it happened, Kevin Durant left his own team. Now, a decade later, Steph Curry is once again sitting at the center of the league's biggest summer mystery. So, what do you think will happen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want a glimpse of that chemistry again, watch NBA players say Steph Curry's first Olympic run was more legendary than MJ's final shot next.